Hi, good evening, and welcome to this week's installment of the Minority Report. I'm Arlen David, your host for the program, and once again, we have a very interesting lineup of discussions for you this evening. Before we get to that, I normally do the administrative duties. So for those of you who are looking at the program, I want to make you aware that you can view this program on the Tobago Updates website. You can also view it on the Tobago Updates YouTube channel. However, the most frequently visited platform is the Tobago Updates Facebook page, where many of you prefer to look at the program, as you can make your comments real time and share your thoughts as well. The show is also available for those of you who love to sit in front of your television. You can see the program on M&E TV at this particular time. So if you know someone who wants to look at the show and they're not logged in on the Tobago Updates Facebook page, you can say to them, just switch across to M&E TV and you will be able to view us live. Those of you who are sending your WhatsApp messages, and we get a number of those each week, you can continue to do so on 284-6597. That's 284-6597. And as the program progresses, we're going to be opening up the lines because we want to create some interaction with our guests this evening, as well as persons calling in and making your contributions to the program. So you can also do so on 356-8833. That's 356-8833. So as we go along this evening, I'm going to encourage you to take up your phone, dial it, give us a call. Let's hear from you. It's very important. Or you can message us. Let's try to send text messages in terms of via the WhatsApp and not voice notes. We have some challenges from time to time in loading the voice notes or uploading them so that we can play them on air. So let's call, or we can send you a message via WhatsApp, text, and we're going to have it up and running, and we're going to share some of what the public have been saying to us. This evening, I really want us to get a bit of interaction. We're going to have quite a number of things, conversations and so on, that we intend to have tonight, and also my special guest in studio and out of studio. We are going to have someone, I think the director is presently working on having it connected and so on, but definitely we're going to be having a conversation as well tonight with someone who we would have missed out on last week, but thank God that they are logged on already tonight. So let's go into our congratulations, and congratulations first of all. I mean, over every week I keep making this statement that we are seeing quite a lot of success coming out of Tobago among Tobago's young people, and not just in terms of teenage and young adults. We are seeing 8-year-old Nicholas McCletchy of Lambo Anglican School copying and coming away with, literally running away with, playing himself into the history books. The National Primary School Chess title. There's a picture of young Nicholas still observing the COVID protocols, as it were. However, the 8-year-old player was unbeaten in the competition, winning all 7 games to earn 7 points. Nicholas was the lone Tobagonian to participate in the tournament and added the primary school crown to the National Junior Under 10 honors he captured earlier in the season. And I mean, let me just plug in here. I think I would have said this even in our last program. NALIS, the library, is offering free chess lessons for children who are desirous of learning, and for parents. Many of you would know that chess is one of those games that is very, very beneficial to unlocking your child's mental capacity and capabilities. Nicholas McCletchy is the 2023 C3 National Primary School Boys Individual Chess Champion. The Lambo Anglican student, he's in standard 2 actually, took the title after he beat a field of 117 entrants at Presentation College in Chaguanas on Saturday, April 29th. I think that this is a feat that goes beyond. I mean, every week we come here and we identify those who would have excelled, and we continue to see such remarkable talent coming out of Tobago. And we don't only see it in the physical related sports, the football and so on, and the netball, but here we are seeing our very own young chess genius really walking away with that. Congratulations to Nicholas McCletchy, and I would dare say congratulations to his parents and whoever his coach may have been for really putting the effort in, and now we're actually seeing the benefits of that particular title. I want to also, still in sports, we want to say congratulations to the Bishops High School, Tobago's under 20 basketballers who returned as heroes, or to a hero's welcome at the Scarborough Port on Sunday. The team led by forward Michael Smith defeated Hillview College 43-40 to cup the under 20 boys title of the National Secondary Schools Basketball Championships last Saturday at the Southern Regional Indoor Arena. I mean, the old adage, when will it end? But we don't want it to end, we only want it to improve. Here we see Bishop's boys yet again bringing home back to Tobago another title. And as I continue, congrats to the coaches, Atiba Dillion, and many of you may know Atiba from his exploits in the field of culture as well. Atiba Dillion and Kerry Mello Celestine, who we often see out at the courts at Shaw Park. They're really investing in the development of Tobago's young basketball players. We saw Chris Roberts taking home the prestigious MVP award for his play during the tournament. This is the second occasion in the history of the tournament that a Tobago school has won the Under-20 trophy, with Scarborough Secondary being the first. And again, we're seeing here remarkable strides being made. Signal Hill Secondary took second place, however, in the boys under-15, while Bishops missed out on the boys under-17 crown. The Scarborough Secondary girls team, however, they lost their semi-final encounter in the Girls Open. And I think I dare say there are no losers in this particular scenario. To come from Tobago to go to compete in Trinidad, as we would have seen with Nicholas McCletchy, a field of 117 entrants. And when we see representatives of Bishops and even Signal Hill and the other secondary schools go down to Trinidad to compete, they're competing against hundreds of schools and thousands of other players. And to cup the top awards is really a truly remarkable feat to come away winners in this particular light. So congratulations to Bishops High School. Guys, you did a remarkable job, and we look forward to continued success from these guys. I also wanted to point out, we saw over the weekend as well, the Capital of Paradise making a record-breaking catch. And it gives me great pleasure to highlight this, because this was one of the investments made by the previous administration under the People's National Movement to really get this vessel up and running, get it repaired, get it seaworthy, even to the point of recruiting part of the crew that would have gone on now. And we see the vessel fully functional and yielding quite a bit. We saw, if it was to be listed, 123 yellowfin tuna being caught, weighing in at 80 to 150 pounds a piece. This is recorded as the largest ever yield by the vessel, and amongst the largest in the fleet that comes out of Trinidad and Tobago on a commercial level. So again, a brilliant catch, very good investment being made by the previous administration to have this vessel up and running, that we can be reaping the benefits of the vessel at this particular point in time. Folks, this evening we want to move a bit into our next segment, and we would have spoken last week about some exploits, again still in sports, and I really want to highlight what has been happening in Tobago out of sports. And we were supposed to have a very brief interview with the Ball Blasters Youth Academy to just discuss a bit and to have Tobago hear a bit of the exploits that they would have been able to cap in Barbados. And so tonight we have the head of the academy. We have the head of the academy, Coach Downey Marcel of Bethel. We are just getting him connected and set up. And yes, there he is. We're seeing the smiling face of Donny Marcel, ready and up and running for us to have that conversation. Welcome to the Minority Report again. So how are you?
Thank you very much, Mr. David, and good evening to the entire island of Tobago and by extension across the Caribbean, wherever you are. Look, thank you for having me this evening on your program, brother.
Very well, very well. This evening, I mean, we've been speaking about the academy for the last 2 weeks, just touching and touching. And I wanted to give you the opportunity. You all came back from a tournament in Barbados, and I mean, the delight of all of Tobago. Not only did you all come away as tournament winners, but you all copped, I think, most of the individual titles as well. Tell us a bit about that experience, and I mean, speak to us in terms of the commitment levels, your coaching staff, your parents, and so on, and any levels of assistance that you all may be able to have put together to really have it materialize in this way.
All right. Well, of course, thank God. Of course, in all things, give thanks. I'm grateful. And Ball Blasters Youth Academy, a really wonderful, family-orientated organization. And with the commitment from families and parents in the club, we were able to put together a team to travel in a short space of time, based on when the information was given to us about the tournament. So we had a parent meeting and along with the coaches and the executive, and we decided that we're going to take one team because it's the first time, and the timing of it now was really like about a 2-month period. And we decided to take the U13 team because those boys in the U13 age group are really consistent from the inception of the football club. In fact, those are the kids that really started the football club way back in 2018. They were 8 and 9, 10, and now they are U13. That being said, we put everything together, spoke with the parents in terms of what is required. We had a lot of fundraisers within the organization, so we were able to raise enough funds because, Barbados, especially traveling in the Easter period, is a bit, you call it peak season. And to travel around them time, tickets could be quite a bit expensive. And Barbados like this. Transportation and buying food, like groceries and stuff, could be a bit expensive, but we were able to accumulate enough funds, and we carried our own chef and some dry stuff from Tobago, so we were able to cook our own food and stuff like that, breakfast and lunch and dinner. So the burden of getting caterers across there, we didn't get that. But the tournament by itself is something that they have been doing over the years. It's a prestige tournament, and of course, COVID-19, the last tournament was in 2019. So we were able to be a part of the revival of this fantastic tournament. And Our kids were exceptionally well, not just on the field of play, but with their discipline and how they care about themselves in a foreign country. And not only did we um, come away with the title of U13, but on the opening day, they had a ceremony and we were also awarded one of the best team out of 3 teams. We were one of the best team on parade in terms of how we dressed and how we care about ourselves, our presentation. So we were able to win that title as well. So we came back with about 5 trophies. So in the U13 age group, we got the best defender, best midfielder, and goal scorer. But because our team, performed at such a high level, our goalkeeper barely had anything to do, so he did not win that trophy. Yeah, we were kind of dominant, honestly. The team, because we train a lot. Like I just came from Turtle Beach there, so every Tuesday and Thursday we try to utilize Turtle Beach to do some strength and agility and some speed training, and it helps. It gives us an edge. It gave us an edge, to be quite honest. So we are really sharp and fit and strong on the ball. So we were able to carry that form to Barbados. And of course, with the grace of God and His mercy and His favor, we were able to come away with a victory. And we are grateful for that we could afford to represent the island of Trinidad and Tobago. Not just, the country, because to go across to Barbados, we needed permission from the TTFA, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association. And they had to come in and give us a workshop of how to care about ourselves, because we were not only representing Tobago, but Trinidad and Tobago. And we did so in a respectful manner, and we were happy to come back and make Trinidad and Tobago proud.
Very much so, and proud. In fact, we were. I made a point as to the number of persons that would have met with you all at the airport.
Yes.
I saw a lot of parents. I even saw the Honorable Member of Parliament for Tobago West as part of the contingent that received you guys.
Yes.
And it's really something else to see such talent, such impact coming out of the community of Bethel. I don't know if all of the young men are from Bethel itself, but I know a number of these young men apply their trade and live in the community. What also stood out to me is the number of parental support that constantly comes to the club in terms of you all achieving those initiatives and so forth. And it's something that I always say when sending out the congratulations. Congratulations to the parents as well.
That's right.
And I know you spoke to it a bit, and we can definitely see the support that many of the parents bring to the club and bring to the table. And, we just want to continue encouraging you guys and so on. Tell us, before you go, Donnie, what's next for Ball Blasters?
Well, as it is currently, we are participating in the 2023 Republic Cup, where we have a U13, U15, and U17 respectively. And so far, we are unbeaten in all of the age group. We have already captured the U15 title, and we are 1 game away from capturing the U17 title, and also the U13. That category have much more teams, so we have like about 4 more games to go. But at Ball Blasters Youth Academy, we continue to work with the kids, regardless of tournament or not. We always find things to do. We always go out on tours, go out on trips, anything to make the kids more knowledgeable, because of course there's a social part of life that we seem to neglect. And when you are working with young people, and sometimes you get close to them and you realize that, hey, this is not just football, sometimes it's a therapy, because you're away from all the negativity. Could be in your home, could be where you come from. So we try to create that environment where these kids could feel so comfortable and give them hope. So currently we are linking up with some people abroad, will not say. Sometimes they have to guard their business, because of course the ultimate goal is for us to have something like a next Dwight coming out of Tobago, because we haven't got that in so many years. All right. That being said, that we are constantly looking for the opportunity, constantly looking for ways to connect with people outside of Trinidad and Tobago that can make sure that our kids could benefit in terms of attaining a professional contract. It's been too long. It's been too long. So many talented players came through Tobago. Even the honorable minority leader Kelvin Morris was a very good player. But what we lack here is the opportunity to go beyond secondary school football.
Yeah.
So I always believe that you don't have to be in the sky to be a star. You can stay from here and shoot out there. So we could create it right here and shoot out. So we don't have to go there to become a superstar. Once we put in the necessary work that is needed, eventually we can stay from here and shoot. So I am grateful, and we are continuing to work. And let me just say something. The kids from Ball Blasters, they are not just from Bethel. They are from all over Tobago. We have kids as far as Palatine, Lands for me. We have kids as far as Payside.
Wow.
Coming to the football club. And so I'm just saying that to you, Mr. David. So maybe you could talk to the minority leader to make sure that Ball Blasters Youth Academy get a bus to transport these children.
That's
I'm actually sure he's listening. He's listening. He's logged on.
Brother Kelvin, I want a bus, please. Thank you very much. You know, so we are working with these kids tirelessly, and we also have this side where we have about 4 to 5 teachers. These are teachers on profession who works at the primary school, secondary, and elementary, preschool level. So we try to assist these kids with the academics if they are slow. So not only football, you know, we try to create this all-round youth organization. Hence the reason why we did not say Ball Blasters Football Club, but it is Ball Blasters Youth Academy. You know, so we are stressing on that we are more about football. Because you cannot put football on your resume and say, yo, I used to play for Ball Blasters Youth Academy, or I used to play for Scarborough Set, and I need a job. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. It never works like that. You may get a job if I own the business because I coach you, so you might get a job from me. But if you want to become something great, football could be the tool or the vessel to take it to another level. You understand? So we try to make sure that the kids understand that it's just not about football only. It's more than that.
Very, very solid advice coming forward there. And I love some of the things that you would have said, especially, and I'll leave with this one. You don't have to be in the sky to be a star. You can stand from where you are and shoot. So you can end up a shooting star. Thanks a lot, Donny Marcel of the Ball Blasters Youth Academy for being with us this evening and for sharing that story. And I know many persons would have been encouraged just from hearing this testimony, as it were. And first, I'm saying testimony because you started by saying thanks to God. So thanks for being with us, and always a pleasure.
Okay, take care, and thank you very much for inviting me. Yes. And I hope that this show continue and be a wonderful show and an eye-opener to the people of Tobago.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Folks, we're going to go to a short break, and when we get back, we introduce our guests in studio, and we go into some additional information, some stuff that we need to promote as well. So we're going to take a short break, share the live, share the live, share the live. Stay logged on, stay locked on. We'll be right back.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over. This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Welcome to Limage Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tapago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tapago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tapago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tapago's at your service.
If you see or know about a crime, report a crime safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero, champion, fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
And folks, we are back on the Minority Report this evening, and before we go any further, let me issue a public service announcement. I first of all want to say good night to the Minority Leader, Assemblyman Kelvin Morris, who is, I'm certain, logged on and really supporting the program and so on. I want to also say good evening to Minority Councillor, Mrs. Petal Danielle Benoit, likewise logged on, hard-working team. Again, I always say these two people probably are cloned, because one minute you see them here and in the blink of an eye they're at another function, another community, another island even sometimes, but really doing a great deal of work to get the job done. So I really want to say good evening to you guys, and congratulations on the job that you've been doing, and we continue to support you, continue to provide you with the encouragement. And having said that, I want to, on behalf of the Minority Leader, announce we all know that harvest is a big thing in Tobago, and one of the harvests that is coming along soon is the WIM harvest. And WIM represents the very birth community of our minority leader. And as a result of that, this year, the first year, I don't know if it's going to be an annual thing, but the minority leader is going to be part of and collaborating with a group of young men from the community to host the WIM Harvest Football Tournament. And I think, if I get the information correct, it's a winner takes all, a do or die situation. You play until you win everybody, you beat everybody in the tournament. And information has come to hand that the first prize, I think it's first and only prize, is somewhere around $5,000. I better get my boots, shine it up, and come out with a group of guys, because this seems to be something that definitely a lot of persons going to want to participate in. So the word is out. If you have a team from WIM and Environs, feel free to contact the office and, get registration up and running and so on. Registration is going to be free as well. The key here is to bring persons together and really increase the community spirit and participation in having this event be a success. And it's all going to be a part of the harvest festivities. So guys and young ladies who are also sports women who participate in the game of football as well, get registered, bring your teams out, and let's have a wonderful time during the harvest at WIM at this football tournament. Let me introduce my guests in studio with me who are going to be going forward at this time in the program. I always relish the opportunity to have members of our organization present, and this evening is no different. I'll start with directly across from me, someone who was supposed to debut on the program a while back. However, it didn't materialize, but I'm glad that he's with me this evening. I have Mr. Charles Smith, the Tobago East chairman of the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement. Welcome to the show this evening, Charles.
And thank you for having me. Good evening to your viewers here on the Minority Report. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Nice. And just across from Charles, we have coming back with us this evening the General Secretary of the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement, Mr. Kisi London. Radiant in studio this evening as usual. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, Marilyn. Good evening, Tobago, and it's always a pleasure to be here.
So guys, as we often say on the show, people always log in to sometimes hear what's next, how we treating with the next issue in Tobago, how we prosecuting a matter and so on. But one of the things that we've always highlighted from the very early stages of the show is that part of the show would be to educate, part of the show would be to discuss issues, to prosecute issues, but also to bring information to the people, also to ventilate different conversations and so on. And this evening, we have a bit of a lighter conversation because we're going to begin with the recently concluded on the weekend People's National Movement Sports Day that was held in Toko, of all places, in Trinidad. And Tobago had a remarkable representation at the sports. I would have sent a few photos, so I'll ask the director just to queue up. Wow, look at those colors, eh?
Yeah, boy, lovely.
Beautiful, man, beautiful. Young people really making their mark.
Yeah, we had a young team this year, mostly teens, and who participated.
Yeah.
And they were thrilled, they were excited to go down to experience the whole sports day.
We have a little video clip here. I don't know if we can get some volume so we can hear what they're actually dancing to.
In his element there, you know.
Yes.
And we must take note, we saw our flag bearer, for those of you who may not have recognized, is Senator Lawrence Hislop.
Yep.
Someone who is a seasoned competitor and participant when it comes to marching and these types of activities. Let me also take the opportunity to point out, in addition to our minority leader and minority councillor who flank the group, we could go back to that picture, Mr. Director. We also see there in the front, holding one of the signs, the Honorable MP for Tobago West, Chamfa Kojo, as well. I didn't see her in the marching and the dance part, but she definitely represented.
Yeah, she and the MP for Tobago East as well.
The MP for Tobago East is right behind her.
And the political leader is somewhere.
And the political leader, yes, we're seeing him now to the back in our shades.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice. So we have full representation on all levels. A number of young people participating in the event as well. And I dare say that the event was a tremendous success.
Definitely.
It was.
The information coming out of it. And again, it speaks volumes. There was one of the photos that would have been highlighted where, when I looked across the cross-section of people, there were thousands of people in this venue.
Yes.
Literally thousands of people, and the excitement about not just the sports, but simply being a member of the People's National Movement.
Correct.
That's right.
You know, many people try to create the narrative that the PNM and saying that they're doing nothing. But this again, and the Tobago representation was very, very active.
Yes.
You know, and it spoke volumes to the fact that yes, the People's National Movement is indeed alive and well, and continuing to grow from strength to strength. I want to bring Charles into the discussion. Many persons may not be familiar with you, Charles. I don't know if you've ever had the platform to speak to all of Tobago, because all of Tobago look at this program. So I want to give you the opportunity. You are the new chairman of the Tobago East Constituency Executive of the People's National Movement Tobago Council. And you came into the position and took the reins up and began to run with it. Tell us a bit of who is Charles Smith. Introduce yourself to Tobago and share with us a bit in terms of what you intend to see, how you intend to move forward.
All right. Well, Marilyn, first of all, let me say thanks. It's not the first platform I'm on. I wouldn't mention the station that I was on last night.
Wow.
I saw that.
Keeping things from us,
right? But yeah, and Charles Smith is really a religious community and political advocate, right? That's what I am. I'm serious about reaching and helping people, and religion and community work as well as political work affords me the opportunity to do that. So it's really about reaching people and helping persons to be in a better place, right? I've been in the position as chairman for the last 6 months, thereabout. And of course, we know that it came on the heels of THA elections where we weren't successful. And so, you know, there was some level of despondency for members within the constituency and so forth. However, I can tell you that just as you would have seen in the sports day, that there has been a rekindling of the fire that people have come to know in the People's National Movement. And so we're moving from strength to strength. We are meeting as we should. We are having discussions. We are mending the fences. We are building back the broken bridges. And if elections were to be called tomorrow, we'll be ready.
And you're saying that on the heels of the minority leader issuing a serious challenge in the last sitting, or the one before that, to the chief secretary. And if you're bad, call the elections now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he spoke to you before and you tell him we're ready.
But you should know that. You should know that. You should know that the minority council is part of our team.
Yes.
And we're really happy to have her on board. She brings experience and and vision. And so definitely they know that we're ready.
Great, great, great. I mean, that's great news to hear. We have the General Secretary as well as part of the panel this evening. And I know that what we've seen, and again, coming out of even this particular clip, and a lot of what Charles is speaking to, we're seeing the party mobilizing, we're seeing things happening and so on. What is your, how do you look at it in terms of, especially youth being involved? Are we seeing a resurgence of interest? Are we seeing more youth involvement? Definitely what we saw representing Tobago in the sports, we had a number of young people who were excited. I even saw some of them in one or two of their practices. They would be running, coming to the part of what was taking place. So tell us how you feel about this.
I think the PNM as a party is an institution, a well-organized institution that encourages young persons to be a part, to come on board, to learn, to grow, to develop themselves and the island by extension. I think, I mean, given the loss at the last elections, we are doing the groundwork to get our young persons back on board. They're there, but they need to have a conversation. They need to speak to people, find out what is the plan, how are we going to go about doing certain things, and they need that guidance, and the PNM gives them that. So I think in recent times we are seeing and we will see a resurgence of young persons be more energized to be a part of the party. I still consider myself a young person as well. And I think that younger persons see myself and the minority leader, councillor, even the chairman is involved in something that will benefit them and their children in the future, will encourage them to be a part of just a conversation of how you want to see, where you want to see your island go forward in the next 5-10 years. So it's as a young person, it's exciting to be a part of a movement such as this, and I look forward to just the next few months, because there's a lot in store.
It seems as if things happen here in months and days and weeks. Charles, I in terms of what you were saying, we saw over the last couple of weeks what would seem to be or appear to be a new party.
Right.
Taking I do even want to use the term spotlight, because I don't think there was much of a spotlight had, but we saw a new party being registered in the public domain. We're not sure if it's registered, let me rephrase. We saw a new party presented, the TPP, and it's not the first time we've seen a party.
It's not the last time.
And it's definitely not going to be the last time.
Just one added two.
Yes, we've seen now this administration heading into their third incarnation, as it were, coming out of the PDP, heading into independence and taking time to convince all of Tobago that nothing is wrong with being independent. And then we now see the presentation of a new party. Thoughts on this?
My thoughts is that when I look at it, it's really an amalgamation of the anti-PNM forces. And it's really a reincarnation of the DAC, NAR, TOP, Forwards, MOP, XYZ, if you want. But it's really a coming together of the anti-PNM forces, and that is what the PDP became. And now what we have is just a splitting of the forces, which we said was going to happen. And it's not because we in the PNM, we are prophets or anything like that. It's just the reality. You need to have structure. And you need to have persons who are genuinely concerned about the well-being of Tobago first, rather than their own ambitions. Unless you have that, what is going to happen is that your selfish ambitions are going to come to the fore, and the division is going to occur. And we have seen it. We have seen it. And so it's really sad that we are here, because I'm certain that Tobagonians did not vote for that. We did not. They were hopeful. They voted for the promises that were made. The ex gratia payments, the $10 million for the electoral districts to solve the problems that we're having. They voted for the registry on the tenders so that everybody could see what's happening. They voted for persons who would say, well, before we leave the country, we'll try to let you know what is going to happen and how much it's going to cost and all these sort of things. So Tobagonians voted for hope. But now many of them are hopeless. When I speak to them on the streets, I said, hey, what's happening with your PDP, now independent, soon to be something else? And most of them are lost for words. They are saddened by the turn of events, and so am I. Because I know that many persons say, well, let them call elections. But that would be the 4th elections in 5 years. What does that speak to in terms of political stability for the island? It puts us in a very difficult place. And so it is not so much that persons want elections, but they see it as the only solution to the debacle that we are experiencing as governance in the THA.
And to bring back some form of stability as well. Eh?
Absolutely. Because they can't wait to try to get them out. That's what it is.
And I think that as the general consensus, anywhere you go on the island, people are just fed up. As the minority leader always says, people are feeling the pain. Persons there's a fear even existing. People want to speak out, but they're afraid of saying anything because they are now under a cruel administration that has a watchdog system that if you speak out, they punish you for speaking out. So take whatever is dished out and just shut up. I want to let folks know that the lines are open. You can call. We just have a couple minutes still on the program. You can call 356-8833, 356-8833, or 284-6597 to make your comment and so on. And coming back to something both you and Akisi would have mentioned in terms of stability. And it's really important for us to highlight that, regardless of what is said. And Charles, you would have called probably almost 10 political organizations that would have been registered in Tobago, contested elections. I think you left out the PEP. The PTP, Platform of Truth, and so on. And so we probably 10, 12 thus far. But what we've seen consistent is the PNM.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Stable, same color, same symbol, same ideology. And the PNM has consistently delivered to Tobago stable governance. They've provided development, and we're going to close off tonight when we do with our development story. As we know, every week we remind Tobago of in the different sectors what has been achieved. So we've seen proper development. We've seen PNM policies impact Tobago in a way that positive, it is a sin to say that the PNM didn't do anything for Tobago. When we have, even in education, the PNM education policy, I remember clearly when one person had a bachelor's in a community, that was a big thing.
It was.
And I said to someone just a week ago, long time when you have 5 CXC, that was, you're right. But now a bachelor's is 5 CXC.
Correct.
Because almost every young person is either in possession of one or is on the way to gaining. And this is manifestation of solid PNM education policy. And so the stability both you guys spoke of is something that cannot be matched. And even coming out of that launch, I know, I don't know if you all heard of any excitement, because that's why I said I don't want to say it took the spotlight.
Well, you see, the thing about it is, I've spoken to some of the persons who went to what you want to call a launch because they were disappointed. They were disappointed and having to pay money, first of all. The first launch, which wasn't really a launch, right? They want you to pay money for T-shirts and all these other things when they ask the difficult questions. So What is going to be printed on the T-shirt?
Yeah, what's the color? What's the symbol?
Nobody knows the color, the symbol. What is the vision or mission of the organization? What are the strategic objectives? None of these things could be exposed in any meaningful way. And so, what are you really inviting me to? And so I would have asked them the hard questions, and they have themselves. It's really tough to see that this is what we have descended to, and we call it governance in Tobago. And that's a really sad part of it. Growing up in the late 90s and early 2000s, you got accustomed to stability. The P&M being there for 20 years, and that's one of the things that I take away from Patrick Manning. He said, sometimes we think that this place is an easy place to govern. It is not.
It is not. Yeah.
It is not. And so they may have had all the plans and all the ideas when they were in opposition and very vocal and very vociferous. But now that they are in the seat,
that's right. It's a different
apparently
story.
it's too hot. So ease me up. Right? That's what we're experiencing.
And again, echoed by a couple of weeks ago on the program, I would have asked the director to play a song that Tobago Crusoe would have performed in the concert. That was the night before Valentine's.
Right.
And that song said exactly that he who is in the seat is who feels the heat.
Yes.
And that people come and beg you for a job. They convince you that I can do the job.
Yeah.
It had nobody else
Like me.
that could do the job. And then they get into the job. And then all we hear are excuses.
Well, Marilyn, it's worse than that, you know. Because you got the job, let's say, to paint a vehicle. But when you got the job itself, you said, well, no, I'm not a painter, I'm here to fix the engine. Persons were elected on a specific mandate. You gave specific promises in an organization, in a vehicle. And now you are changing the terms of the agreement. That is one of my challenges. You're changing and as your employer, it's as though I can't do anything about it until the next 2.5 years when I go back to the polls. And that's the difficult part, that there is no mechanism by which I could recall these individuals who are not doing what we agreed to as a citizen. That makes it very difficult. So all I can do now is to sit and wait.
Just count down.
Yeah, just buy the time.
Feel the pain.
Feel the pain, recognize that Tobago is going backward, seeing little to no development whatsoever, coming to the realization that we are actually going to waste 4 years politically. Where is that going to put us in the race to be the greatest little island on the planet?
And in that vein, I also want to say, I want to put persons on cue, because in next week's program as well, we're going to be delving into more of what our development journey has been. We would have recently as well heard of a motion, or seen a motion brought to the House with respect to the EMA. Next week, we're going to also be opening up that particular motion to show Tobago and to once again continue with our discussion about the Great Deception. How this administration continues to attempt to take Tobagonians down a road that is non-productive, that has absolutely no benefit, and that has no light at the end of the tunnel. So folks, I'm giving you the cue from now. We're going to also be having some guests in studio speaking to that particular issue, and we're going to be continuing that conversation. But Charles, you spoke rightly so that it is really difficult to sit and watch this process. I mean, persons can come out and ventilate their feelings and so on, but there is no real process in place unless the Chief Secretary called the election now.
Well, unless there is also, the only other option is constitutional reform. And I'm not so certain that as Tobagonians, we want that to be the mechanism by which they are removed. We want them, and it's not so much that we want them removed, you know. Persons who meet me on a day-to-day all they're asking for, and if the chief secretary is listening, is for you to keep your promise.
That's it.
That's what it is. You said you were going to do something. Do not be a flip-flop folly. Don't do that. Your word must be a bond. Persons must be able to trust what you say. One of the challenges that they are faced with now is that, yeah, they may not be able to trust the word of their member who they have elected, but now they're wondering, do these people actually have the competence to do the things that they promise? Because it's one thing to trust in your integrity, and next thing is to trust in your ability.
Yes.
Do they actually have the ability to do the job? And you would have sold Tobagonians the dream that you do.
Yeah.
Please, if you're listening, and I know that you are,
Yes, he is.
let's settle down and do the work so that Tobagonians can benefit. We know you only have 2 and something years there remaining before you're going to be removed, but let's get settled down and do the work now.
I love the call coming out there from the chairman of the Tobago East constituency. Do the work. Do the work. Let's at least deliver on the mandate. But again, we see them heading in a direction where there's absolutely no mandate. We saw one of their members even conduct an interview recently on this very station, and the type of sarcasm that came out of that particular member, who continues to show great disregard for persons, who continues to disrespect people who reach out to her, continues to message persons, speaking a very derogatory term to the very people who are reaching out to her, and yet still come on the TV to try to put up window dressing, as it were.
Yeah.
As if, you know.
And to play as though they're the victim.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, time longer than twine, as they say. You know, guys, it's really been a pleasure having you all this discussion. Really fruitful. I want to remind persons yet again, 356-8833. We have just about 2 minutes before we close off. We have a lot of comments coming in. Again, being reminded that a Datsun 120Y could only go 80 miles an hour.
and so one of my aunts told me earlier this week that what happened is that your mouth write a check that your rear cannot cash. And that's what it is.
Yes.
So they were able to talk and espouse all these things, but when it comes to performance, you cannot perform, and the PNM is unmatched where performance is concerned.
But do you even have a conscience? Because you campaigned and gave persons a promise that this is what you're gonna do. This is a mandate, as you said, that you're gonna follow. Things come and happen, everything go away. You don't have the people. You don't have a mandate. You don't have the people didn't vote for whatever new party you're going to form. They voted for you and the promise that you were giving that you will do. So if you're so confident that the people want you, just call the elections.
And what
and they will just put you back there simply if
they want.
If they want.
What was even, I mean, adding to that, these people signed what they call their People's Charter.
Well, we don't have enough time to go into that.
We have a caller on the line. We keep getting some drops, but caller, good evening.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Caller, good evening.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead. We're hearing you.
At that 120, why I could only go 80 miles per hour. I tell all of that. I tell all that. That's not that these people, they're incompetent. But let me ask a question, and it's something I wanted to try and find out. You remember, this administrator asked for $100 million to pay contractors, right? What we need to know who this $100 million pays. And I realize there's a trend in the House now. When you ask a question, the presiding officer brush aside the question when the minority leader and the minority councillor asks. They does answer what they want to ask. We need to know where $100 million paid. They pay some money. They didn't pay the $100 million. If if I'm not mistaken, where the rest of the $100 million gone? We need to know where that. But just remember that line that's the 120 while could only go 80 miles per hour. Them fellas and ladies going as far as they could go. They can't go no faster. They're incompetent. That total bunch of incompetent people. They can't do better. They want to do better, but they can't do better. They're going at full maximum right now. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, caller, for that reminder. Yet again, yeah, folks. So, as we would have heard, even those are some of the things that we want to highlight in shows to come, because we continue to see this administration dodging questions in the House.
And that speaks to how functional our overall democracy is.
Yeah.
Because if it is that you are not compelled to answer questions in the assembly, which is the people's house, who would you answer to?
Who would you answer to?
We continue to see persons dodging and using technicalities to avoid bringing answers to the forefront, but we're going to be exposing some of that as we continue. Yeah, folks, again, the number to call 356-8833. We're getting ready to wind up that particular section or segment. Folks, again, thanks for your support. I'm going through some of the comments here as well. And, we really, persons generally are saying amongst the same thing. Many persons are finding it difficult to believe that there are people who believe that PNM did nothing for Tobago. Honestly, because when you look around us, the development is there.
They don't believe that, man.
Not just in a physical sense, but when you look around, the people, the lifestyle, the status, the general standard of living in Tobago.
And that's how you measure development.
It's the highest in the Caribbean, I think.
Quality of life. And has your quality of life improved over the last 20 years?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you say no to that, and you said that you grew up in Speyside with an outside house, but now you're sleeping in the biggest bed on the island, how could you truly say that?
Exactly. We're getting ready to wrap up, folks. I want to give my guests in studio, Akisi, Charles, the opportunity to give their closing remarks this evening. I don't know who would go first.
I probably should go first. I just want Tobagonians to be watchful, be mindful, pay attention. As you say, drunk or sober, mind your business. And, pay attention not just to have things to say, but to keep this current administration accountable, because you are the persons who put them there to deal with the business of the island. And the PNM is here. We are ready, always a well-oiled machine ready, hitting the ground, speaking to our troops, getting ready to lead this island back to stability when given the chance again. Yes.
Thanks a lot. Charles?
Well, I would say something that I said on a similar frequency about 24 hours ago. I want persons in Tobago to get the numbers of their representatives and start calling them. No, they have their numbers because those same persons call them while they were campaigning.
Correct.
Right? Call them. Let them know the issues you are having. WhatsApp them. Yes, you might get one or two of them saying, ease me up. But let them know the promises that they made and that you have an expectation that they will do what you ask them to do or ask them to resign. Because we're not, in this 21st century, accepting that kind of performance. It's either you do what we agreed to or you step aside and let the professionals handle it.
That's right.
Very well said. Folks, I want to say thank you to Chairman of the Tobago East, Charles Smith, for being with us this evening, as well as General Secretary Akisi London being part of it. I look forward to you guys at least turning up a little more. The invitation is open for you all to be here and to lend that support to the minority leader and the minority councillor. We get human support from Senator Lawrence Sislop, who we saw really enjoying the flag waving and that kind of thing at the sports. And we definitely are open to the continued support. Folks, before we leave, as we go out this evening, we want to queue up what I call the third leg of our development story. And we would have seen development in health sector. We saw education, and tonight we're going to close the program off a bit in a way that we want to start it next week with development in infrastructure. So I'll ask the director to cue it up. And as we leave tonight, I'm Marilyn David. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your continued prayer and everything that you do to keep this program ongoing. Though the challenges may seem as if they come frequently, but the only reason that you stone a mango tree is if it's bearing fruit. And so we continue to forge forward, we continue to do what has to be done, and I want to encourage us all to lend that support. Our minority leader is in the field working on your behalf. Our minority councillor is also in the field working on your behalf, and we will definitely do what has to be done to continue providing each and every one of you with a voice that holds this administration accountable for the promises that they've made. I'm Marilyn David, and as we leave this evening, let's enjoy the development story in infrastructure.